In this week's class, we're going to go over Module 4. In Module 4, you're going to start your design project. You're going to do your road layout. So you already have some knowledge on how to lay out a subdivision based on your first practice project. So let's take a look at what's in this module. I've given you an example of a subdivision and what is required on a subdivision. We talked about that last week. So this is just a PDF of the Domish Estates. So if you want, you can download that and take a look at it. So this is the Domish Estates site dimension plan or layout plan. Now, what we're looking at for this exercise this week, the assignment this week, is to lay out your subdivision. So take a look at the subdivision here and how it's laid out. What information do we need? So in this assignment, you're going to basically do your center line, and then you're going to the center line your roads, go ahead and do your right-of-ways, and then your lot lines. Now remember, lot lines need to be perpendicular to your right-of-way, which are perpendicular to your center line. You don't want lot lines that are at an angle to your center line. Now I'm going to go and take a look at what was actually designed on your project area. So the project that I'm going to give you is actually already been permitted, and let me show you what they've already got approved out there. It is being currently constructed. The last time I was in Florida, I drove by this site, and it is being constructed. I'm not sure if it's finished yet or not. It's called the Deer Run Estates, but what I've done is I've given you the same project area that has already been previously designed and permitted and is under construction. So this is the side of your project. I'm actually going to have you rework the area that's on the left-hand side. Basically lots 67, 78, 83, 94, and 99. Your project is going to be bound between, this is Deer Run at the top, and Tucker Avenue. Now, take a look at what they have designed for this. Let me go ahead and scroll through, and y'all can take a look at what a set of construction plans looks like to know what I'm anticipating you all to construct. So let me see if I can get a better plan through here. All right, so basically I just zoomed in on the site area. So the area that we're working on is, again, Deer Run is to the north. Tucker Avenue is going to be this line through here. There's an existing right-of-way line on Tucker Avenue. It is only 35 feet, I believe, right now, and you'll need to expand it to at least 50 feet. Now, in this example here, in their project, they actually impacted the wetland that was up here. I do not want you all to impact that wetland, so y'all have to hold off on building in this area. Notice that their pond is down here. The pond is actually in a low-lying area, and this is all wetland. I don't want you to impact the wetland unless you absolutely have to in your design. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and show you some examples of what last semester did and some of the things that I'm looking for and things that I do not want you to do. All right. So let's go ahead and take a look at a few examples. Let's start by going over what the assignment is required. So here's the assignment, your design project part 2, roadway layout and lot layout. So your option, you have two entrances. One's going to have to be off of Deer Run and one's going to have to be off of Tucker Avenue. Your project, your lot dimensions are going to be 50 feet by 100 feet and 40 feet by 90 feet. So basically the house product has to fit on those two size lots. We're going to assume that there's about 15% land that is required for your pond tract, and 20% of the land has to be open space. Now, when somebody says open space, it doesn't have to be all in one location. If you take a look at the set of plans, so their open space is accounted for in here, it's accounted for through here. They have open space based on allowable for part of the pond area. So what we're looking for is, I do want y'all to put like a playground area in your project area, just to give you some of that open space. So when you're figuring it, and you also get credit for some part of the open space for your wetland. Now, when I don't want you to impact the wetlands or the surface area. What I mean by that is, if you look at the survey, I popped over to the survey here. These are the wetlands that I don't want you to impact. This one right here and this through here. Okay, so that kind of narrows down your requirement of what you have to design by. Okay, and what you're going to be creating your subdivision like with respect to putting in plan and profiles. So we'll be getting to that later in the semester. Let's pop back over to your assignment and take a look at what else you have to do. So your right-of-way curves are 25-foot radius. And what I mean by that is, when you're looking at, let's take a look at the Dahmish Estates. When you're looking at right-of-way curves right through here, you can see that that's a required 25-foot radius. These are all 25-foot radiuses here. Okay, so right-of-way curves, the minimum they can be are 25 feet. All right, so just remember that when you're doing your design. So you'll start with your center line, you'll create your center line, you'll offset 25 feet from each side, and then you'll make sure that your curves here in your right-of-way are 25 feet. Okay, so this is a 50-foot right-of-way. Now, there's new requirements in Osceola County that you have to have parallel parking for every 2 houses. You have to have 1 extra parking space, and usually that's going to be parallel parking. And parallel parking, if this is a 50-foot right-of-way, you'll have 11-foot drive lanes, a 2-foot curb and gutter, 7 feet of grass, and then 5-foot sidewalks. This is a mirror. On the 56.5-foot sidewalk or right-of-way, you have 11-foot lanes, 2-foot curb and gutter, parallel parking, and that parallel parking is a total of 6.5 feet. And that valley gutter, if need be, sometimes you won't need a valley gutter, you'll just have a continuous slope here. 2-foot curb and gutter, 7-foot grass, and 5-foot sidewalks. Okay, so those are your right-of-ways. So one's going to be 25 and the other one's going to be 35. Okay, I mean 35 and a half. Sorry, 31 and a half. All right, so you'll go through the videos and you'll take a look at what you have to create for your layout of your road. Now, in here, I show you how to create the surface, because you're going to need the surface in the future assignments. And when I say you need the surface, that's basically what your contours are going to look like. Right now, the contours that you have in the drawing are just polylines with elevations associated with them. So I need you to create a surface so you can then go ahead and make a plan and profile. You don't have to make plan and profiles in this assignment. Again, you do not have to make plan and profiles in this assignment. You'll be doing that later in the semester. Right now, I just want you to create a subdivision. Now, I'm not going to show you how to lay out your subdivision. That is on you all. So I'm going to show you some examples that last semester created for their subdivision. So let's go ahead and get started on, or let me show you what they did. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the projects that were previously done last semester. So in this project, the student took a road took their entrance off of Deer Run, and you can see on Tucker. And you can see how she took the road and tied it back in, allowing her access to the whole site. Now, on this corner, you may want to go ahead and take this lot line out to, let's say, here. you know, maximize the lots. So this portion of the lot would be extended type of pie lot. Now, there's a lot of area through here that wasn't, you know, used. So it's a good design. Notice how she brought this through here. These are your, this is where you have to have a minimum of 25-foot radiuses in here. Now, it could have been better to make this a little bit shorter so it's more of a sweeping curve down. Now, this is not a bad design, looks pretty good. Okay, that's one option. A lot of the students came with similar options. Now, on this one has a lot of errors in it. Now, what I said about lot lines, this is not perpendicular. So what I mean by that is the lot line should have been perpendicular and then offset it. Okay, this just makes a very hard, this would not be accepted by the county's agencies. The other thing that is incorrect about this design is you cannot bring a road at an angle. It must be perpendicular or close to perpendicular to the intersection. So basically it's a T. Same here. This is a Y. You don't do Ys. All of it should be perpendicular as close to 90 as you possibly can. So do not do a design like this. Okay. So let's take a look at this one. So this one has a pretty good one. This one could have used a more sweeping curve, and I don't believe there's a curve at all in there. I could be wrong. Yeah, so that is, no, it has a tiny curve. So I'd make that more of a sweeping curve, but they have the same type of project. Now, the only thing on this that I would recommend is you're centering this roadway entrance in between these two roads here. Also, there is a lot of lost space here. They could have put their pond through here, but this is really a lot of land that is now not used. What you could do is you could put houses, mirror this, and put houses against Tucker Avenue. So, for example, you could go move this entire, mirror this by this endpoint to this endpoint. Okay, and then the houses on this side would access Tucker Avenue, and the houses on this side would access here. These would need to be, these lengths are your 100, so these would need to be your 90-foot lots. Okay, so let's take a look at another project. So this is another design. I like this one a bit better. I would have liked it if this entrance was, again, more centered, just because it's too close. You have two entrances too close to each other. If you decide to do an entrance, pull it over to here and assume that you're going to get right-of-way access off of this person's lot. It may or may not be true, but technically you wouldn't be allowed to have an entrance this close. So put your entrance in between these two, or assume that you're going to get access from this lot over here. You'll also have to have cul-de-sacs when you have more than 150 feet. Here's another example design project. So this student took actually the road over here. Again, try to put it in the center. It would have been better if it came straight up. The other thing is, I wouldn't have put the access road here. I would have brought it up and brought it through here like they did in the approved set of plans. The other thing about this one is the angle of this. This is, there's something off on his right-of-ways here. The other thing that I would take a look at, again, it has to do with lot lines. These lot lines are a bit off. These are also off. They're not perpendicular to this roadway. So again, remember about your lot lines being perpendicular. The nice thing kind of about this one is if you don't have a lot here, then you could actually make all of this park. So there's was your open space track. I would put the pond down here like they did in the approved plans. And the reason is because it's near the lowest lying area, so it'll gravity drain to this area better. Or put the pond up here to gravity drain. Let's take a look at another one. So this student had the similar layout. This is the final design, so there's a lot more information going on in this one. So let's take a look at this one. So I like this one also. This is incorrect. This needs to be perpendicular. I also would not make this look like this. I would take this completely out because there's not enough room up here. Maybe put your pond up here, add some lots over here. But these intersections are too close to each other, and these are also. You want an intersection that are crosses or T's. Okay, so this is kind of a nice turn. The other thing is you can put parallel parking, so your right-of-way on this side would be the wider right-of-way. This would be a 50-foot right-of-way through here. This could have a 56.5-foot right-of-way, 56.5-foot right-of-way to get the parking in. Let's take a look at the last design. Here's another design. I do like this one. This one was a little bit different. This one is, they did tee it off 90 here, even though it looks like it's going at a little bit of an angle. This is okay also, and you also have it teed at 90 here. So I do like this one, but it's not as, you could actually do larger lots around here. There's no lots here because the depth isn't correct, but you could make this whole area park area. So I did like how they maximized the area here, but they did not maximize the lots. So it depends on what you're going for. But these are just the various options some of the students came up with last semester. So this should give you some ideas on how to lay out your subdivision. So again, reiterate, your job is to build on between Tucker Avenue, north and south, and Deer Run Road, just this side here. Try not to impact the wetlands, but if your design is super cool and you want to go ahead and impact part of the wetlands, then that's fine. We'll just have to, that's something that'll come up in the design process, and you'll have to acknowledge that that is an impact. All right, we'll talk more about that later in the semester. Okay, so let's go back to the assignment. Go back to here. So in this, you'll have to lay out your lots. Your lots are typical 50 by 100 feet or 40 by 90 feet. Go ahead and locate your pond. Go ahead and identify what your open space is. So basically, you don't have to do your offsets for your edge of pavement or your sidewalks, but I want the right-of-way, I want the lot lines, I want the center line of the roads, and I want the lots. And I also need you to go ahead and create, via this video, your surface, so you'll have that ready for the next exercise. Once you get that set, upload the PDF and the CAD file of the project, and then what I'll do is, as I go through them, I'll make comments and tweak your design to make improvements, or if your design is perfect, then you'll be set to go to the next step. All right, if you have any questions, just go ahead and send me a message. Send me the message via email, because I don't always get Canvas, okay?